Welcome back to my 30-day Disney challenge. So, I missed a day. Actually, I didn't really miss it. I chose not to make a video because I was really sick yesterday. So, I decided to do two days topics in one video. So, I'm doing day 8, which is my favorite villain, and then I reordered some of the stuff so that day 9 is my favorite villain song. And I decided to put these two together into one because, again, I have to make up a day. Also, my favorite villain song is sung by my favorite villain. So, before I do that, I'm actually going to give my honorable mentions because Disney has great villains. They're usually the most memorable characters in the movies that they're in. So, honorable mention for villains. Again, I'm gonna something from Frozen. I like Hans. Hans is a great villain, and the reason he's a great villain, in my eyes, is that you don't know he's the villain until the third act. I mean, up until that point, he's just, he's the perfect prince. I mean, of course, you go back and there are some subtle things that, like when he's, like, I forget, there's plenty of, evidence on the internet, but if you go back and rewatch it, you see that he hints to some things about his true intentions during the Love is an Open Door sequence. But anyway, yeah, it's great because you don't expect him to be the villain, and yeah. So he's my honorable mention for favorite villain. And of course I have some honorable mentions for favorite villain song because usually the villain song, much like the villain, is the most memorable part of a Disney movie. And there are some really great villain songs, and my honorable mentions for that are Mother Knows Best from Tangled. It's amazing. Mother Gothel in Tangled is another great villain who, it makes it seem like she's, it seems like she actually loves Rapunzel as a daughter. But again, there's plenty of evidence that shows whenever she's talking, sweetly to Rapunzel, or, she's actually, she's always actually touching her hair, or, where it shows that she's not actually in love with Rapunzel. She doesn't actually love Rapunzel, she loves her hair. So, anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Mother Knows Best, great song. Another great villain song, Poor Unfortunate Souls from Little Mermaid. Ursula, also really great villain, but Poor Unfortunate Souls is just, yes, it's a quintessential villain song. And my other honorable mention for favorite villain song is Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback is not one of my favorite Disney movies at all. Like, I can't get into that movie. I've tried watching it a few times, but I always, I can never really get through it. But that sequence, the Hellfire sequence, is just so good. But anyway, to my actual picks for favorite villain and favorite villain song. My favorite villain is Scar from The Lion King. Yes, The Lion King again. This is only the, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's only the third time I've mentioned The Lion King on the list. Yeah, third time I've mentioned Lion King on the list. And again, the reason why I like Scar, similar to why I like Hans in Frozen, and that's because you don't know he's the villain really until, you do learn during the first act, but, well, I guess it's more I don't know. I'm trying to think of the structure of Lion King. I guess there's 4 acts in The Lion King. Like, there's the, opening where Simba's still a baby, and the presentation, and I consider that Act 1. Act 2 is the whole can't wait to be king, elephant graveyard, stampede thing. Act 3 is with Simba meeting Timon and Pumbaa, and then Act 4 is reclaiming the Pride Lands. So that's the acts in my mind as I reference them. You learn Scar's the villain about towards the end of Act 2. In my mind. I guess that's probably still Act 1 because it's when Simba's a child, but in my mind it's Act 2. But yeah, during the first part, he's just he doesn't really seem evil. He's just, doesn't care. Like, he misses Simba's presentation, and Zazu shows up, and he just becomes he's almost a comical character at that point, where he's like, he eats Zazu, and Mufasa like spit him out, and it's great. Like he's just like this very cynical character, which is hilarious in my mind. But then, after he tells Simba about the elephant graveyard, and after that, then you find out that the entire time he's not just being the fun, spontaneous uncle. He's actually plotting to murder his brother and nephew. So, yeah, great villain. Like great, and then I mean, I guess it's not subtle at all, because it should be obvious pretty early on he's the villain, which I mean it is. And then the thing that really sticks it, that this guy's the villain and he actually means it, is "Be Prepared," which is my favorite villain song, because, like I said, it emphasizes how much Scar is the villain. He lays out his entire plan. I mean, which is usually what the villain song's about. It tells you their motivation, and that's his motivation, is to take over the Pride Lands, to kill his brother, to kill Simba, and it's great. And of course, the symbolism in the sequence is, it's like Nazi symbolism, with the hyenas like almost goose stepping, but not really, and just, I don't know, it's just great, and I love it so much. And yeah, so that's about it. That was a combined video for day 8 and 9, which my favorite villain, Scar. My favorite villain song is "Be Prepared." So hopefully I'll be able to get a video out tomorrow at some point, which day 10, which was originally day 9, but then I pushed it back, so I could have favorite villain song, like, with my favorite villain. So day 10 is my favorite original Disney character. So I guess this means, like, one of those characters that Walt Disney himself created, or ones that were created by the Walt Disney Company, or the Walt Disney Production Company, whatever the actual company is called. Their original cartoons. So yeah, that's tomorrow for day 10, and that's it. I'll see you then.